Jason Drake? Okay, I was waiting on that, I didn't know that guy was there, right? Yeah. All right, so I told you from the moment we made contact, before we go further, yeah, I do not talk to your rights and all stuff, your Miranda rights, right? How you feeling right now? Okay. You have any health issues? Hormone. Yeah, hormone. Have you taken medication for that or anything? Or you played with hormone? Or what's the last grade you completed?
Last grade.
Well, last educational, you went to college, I know.
Yeah, I'm 30 credits short for the degree.
Okay, what are you majoring in?
Sports management.
How many credits?
About 30.
30. With your bachelor's?
Yeah.
You can finish that up, man. Sports management. How many hours did you sleep last night? And are you under the influence of any drug or alcohol? No. Okay. Are you taking any medication for you? No. And you say you got a heart murmur. And do you have any learning disabilities or anything like that? Okay, so I'm going to go one by one, and if you understand each line, you just initial next to the yes, and if you don't understand it, you initial next to the no. Same thing you read, we just do perform on our department. Okay, you have the right to remain silent, you don't have to talk to me if you do not wish to do so. You do not have to answer any of my questions. Do you understand that right? If you do, just initial. Don't you put upside down because you're initial. Just initial, but you understand it. You want a lawyer to be present during questioning at this time or any time hereafter, you're entitled to have a lawyer present. Do you understand that right? If you understand it, then just initial yes. Okay. If you cannot afford to pay for a lawyer, one will be provided for you at no cost if you want one. Do you understand that right? That's what they refer to as a public defender. You know about that? Yes. Okay. Now, is it no one's right? I know one to answer my questions about having a lawyer present. It's yes or no. And then the statement is on my own free will, without any threats or promises I've been made to me. And then yes. Let's just take care of the sign at the bottom, and I'll give you the date and the time, please. The date is 8/19 of 21, and the time is 1:54 p.m. That's fine. Thank you, sir. I'm signing this, I'll forget later. Yes. All right, sir. All right, so you already know before we got put in the car. I told you the topic we want to talk to you about today. The cases is on, and I know you're eager to talk to me and tell me your whatever background you want to give me. Now, we can start from the beginning. You made contact with the moment you met Bryan Pata, or however you want to do it, whatever you feel more comfortable with. What do you want to tell me?
I don't know what you was asking earlier.
No, I understand. Throughout this investigation, okay, we received a lot of information of your relationship with Bryan. What can you tell me about your relationship with Bryan?
I really had an up and down relationship.
Okay. What happened? What does that mean, up and down?
We were teammates. I guess females got involved. So it was, I don't know, I guess jealousy over females.
But isn't that kind of normal stuff between players?
It's normal stuff between players. As I said, when Bryan died, who was it beef? I had no problem with Bryan.
Okay.
I'm trying to see, I can remember a home game we played in, and he did just shoot for him time. I'm the one that tied up all his, after we had fought, after we had our confrontation and all that,
What's the first confrontation you had with Bryan? Who's older, first of all? Who's there longer? You or Bryan?
Bryan was.
So what year were you, was he in?
I think he came in like 03.
Okay, so if he was at least a year or higher than you, older than you. Okay, the first beef you had, you sounded about female. Can you tell me about that? What was that about?
It was a female that, I guess she liked it. And, she was interested in both of us, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was interested in both of us. It really wasn't no beef. It was, that's my girlfriend now. I said, okay, I don't mess with her no more. That can be your girlfriend. So they got in a relationship and was going together. So that was really no beef. I mean, he made her his girlfriend.
What's that girl's name?
Jada.
Okay, let's talk about Jada a little bit, because Jada's name comes up a lot during the investigation. Is that the first time that you have any beef with Bryan whatsoever?
Yeah.
That you remember? That was over Jada?
Yeah.
Okay. You dated Jada?
Never dated Jada.
Did you guys have any relations?
We had a relation once.
Okay, so you had sex with her?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's relations. And Bryan found out about it?
No, it wasn't no fun about it. It was a relation before they got together.
So you and Jada messed around before Bryan was boyfriend with her?
Yeah, well, day before we was girlfriend.
Okay, and so what was the issue? I don't understand. What was the beef?
It just she kept, I said something, and she'll go back and say something, Bryan say something. She was just trying to nitpick between both of us. I wasn't really
stirring the pot, like you said.
Yeah, it wasn't really nothing specific. It might be he said something to me downstairs. What? Am I gonna get in trouble for saying something to you? I don't understand why you go back and tell Bryan, like, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying something to you. Like,
it's kind of like Bryan didn't want her talking to you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. And then what happened from there? Was there other altercations or other confrontations with Bryan?
Yes, we got into, after I had surgery, Bryan actually jumped on me. I had surgery. I tore my leg and I was up there for summer. And I was on campus. It was in another teammate's room, and Bryan was on campus with another teammate. He was his friend.
Do you remember the teammate?
Eric Munkle.
Okay.
So Eric was like, I was in Eric's room. Yeah, I was in Eric's room, but Bryan wanted to come in. I went to open the door. So I finally let Bryan in. He rushed me, jumped on me, headbutted me. But that was the end of that. I got up from there, went downstairs. I might cry a little bit, but it wasn't no ongoing beef where I was at Bryan, trying to hurt Bryan, nothing like that.
Okay. What was the next incident that happened?
For us, that was the only two incidents we got into.
You never had any relations between you and Bryan?
No.
We've talked to several people that remember an incident where you got so upset you actually made threats to Bryan. Is that right?
That was when he headbutted. Like I say, I let him in the room. He jumped on me, headbutted me. Like I say, I probably argued in the hallway. I left. I went back downstairs. I think I called my grandmother, something like that. But that was the end of that. It wasn't no ongoing. It didn't spill over or carry on from that night.
Okay,
I talked to the coaches. The coaches got involved the next day. I talked to Randy Shannon about it. Walton, my defense was back coach. So
who's that? Who's your defensive back coach?
His name was Walton. His last name was Walton.
Walken? Okay.
Walton.
Oh, Walton. Yeah. Okay. What threats did you make to Bryan that day? And the reason I'm asking this because remember I told you
I didn't threaten Bryan.
That this case was going on for 15 years, so there's a lot we have to talk about. In 15 years, if you can imagine, even before I got involved, a lot of people have been interviewed. Okay, so everybody's got a side that they're, to the story, and there's been a lot of the same reports from many people about some of the things that were set back and forth that happened between you and Bryan. So that's how I
know everybody together with me, Bryan, and Eric Munkle in the hallway.
Okay, but there's got to be more incidents, that's what I'm saying.
No, it was a Jada incident. Okay, that was me and Bryan in the dog incident. And the only two incidents we had. And he reported to the coach the next day.
Okay.
And the coach got involved.
Did you ever threaten to hurt Bryan in any way? Did you ever threaten to shoot Bryan?
No.
Ever?
I didn't own a gun. I don't.
Okay. Now that you ask me, then you mentioned I don't want to forget. Have you ever owned a firearm?
No.
Never. Did you own a firearm back when you were at University of Miami?
No.
You never had carried? Never. Did you ever make it sound like you carried a firearm?
I don't know. That was a lot going on back then. I don't remember if I said no. I didn't ever say I carried a firearm.
Okay. Would you have told somebody for example, I always strap, or I always carry my gun with me, or I always carry my piece with me, anything along those lines, letting someone know that you always have a gun on you. You would never said that, and you definitely don't remember that. You would remember that if you would have done that, and you definitely never had a firearm while you were at the firearm. Did you ever have any other issues with anybody else while you were at the University of Miami, where a gun might have been involved, or a gun might have been mentioned, or anything along those lines? No, okay. Let's fast forward a little bit now. So now you say from the moment that the last beef that you had with Bryan, which was in the dorms, you're saying?
In the dorm. That was over the summertime.
And what year was that roughly?
It was the summer, 05 summer.
Okay. So that's about a year and a half. About a year and a half before Bryan was killed. And then from that point on, describe to me your relationship with Bryan from that point on.
It was really a high and by. I mean, we was on the same team. We was great. We had to come in and play on the same team. So it wasn't I can't come in the locker room. If I come in the locker room, I'm scared to come in the locker room. I can't be around Bryan, I'm scared. No, it wasn't that. I didn't never get that feeling of intimidation.
Okay. And so you never, your opinion, you never had any beef with Bryan?
No.
If anybody would think that you had a beef with Bryan, why would they think that you had beef with Bryan like that?
Because of the Jada situation.
Because he just kept on going, because he kept dating her?
Because he kept dating her.
Okay. Did he ever bring up Jada to you ever again?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever mess around with Jada after that? You left her alone, never had any issues with her alone?
Never did. I reached out to her recently when ESPN reached out to me, and I tried to ask her what was going on. She never contacted back to me.
Okay, we'll get to that a little down the road. Okay, during that time at University of Miami, you're describing how your relationship, this is the summer of 2005, no more issues, you have a high vibe relationship with Bryan, you don't consider there was any issues whatsoever, no beef?
No beef.
Did you have any beef with any?
Detective Segovia, was the defendant referring to an incident with Bryan and Eric Moncourt's dorm room?
Yes.
Who was present during that fight?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
Did you learn if anyone... Did you learn that other individuals were present during that fight?
Objection, hearsay.
Yes.
Did you interview Eric Moncourt and Dave Howell?
Yes.
Was what the defendant told you in his statement consistent with what they told you?
No, it's inconsistent with what they told me.
Did the defendant own a firearm?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
During your investigation, did you receive information that the defendant owned a firearm while he attended the University of Miami?
Objection, hearsay, lack of personal knowledge.
Yes.
When did you learn that he first had a firearm? At what point in college?
Very early on, he made mention of it, talked about having a specific type of firearm, and actually produced a firearm to one of the players.
During your investigation, did you learn that the defendant had issues with Bryan Pata?
Objection, hearsay.
Very early on, yes.
Did those issues continue up until Bryan Pata's death?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
They were consistent from the first fight they had. There was a lot of bad blood between them.
Relationship. This is the summer of 2005. No more issues. You have a high vibe relationship with Bryan. You don't consider there was any issues whatsoever. No beef. Did you have any beef with anybody else on that team? No. Did you have any enemies on that team?
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, but nobody that you would think was trying to hurt you in any way or nothing. Was there any other drama going on with the team and Bryan during that time?
Yeah, he was in and out of the club scene a lot. He was in my club scene a lot. Him and Willie Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
So Willie Williams' brother got cut up bad in the club.
Okay.
So and they told, I guess they were sending a message to, because Willie and Bryan, when we all used to do it, they just kept on.
One moment here.
Can I see pictures? So All right, Ralph, I'm gonna have him step into the jury room for a few moments just so that we can look for something.
All rise for the jury.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, 2.2. All right, so just for the record, the instruction that I was referring to is 2.2. And it's introduction on edited recordings. It's members of the jury are about to view, listen to a video audio recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view or listen to and consider this evidence. Okay, and state, you want to, I mean, the conversations I've already on the record, but you're going to look to see where you start that again. You're going to have to take that out of this recording before it goes back to the jury.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna email that one.
Of his record.
Okay. Because Willie is the player, right? Okay. What other, who are your,
There you go.
You can look up. All right, thank you. I'm going to tell you, may be seated. Members of the jury, you're about to view, listen to, or see a video recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view or listen to and consider this evidence.
closest friends during that time?
Bruce, Miranda,
Bruce Johnson, okay. Where's he at now? That's one guy we haven't,
I think he's engaged.
did he play? Did he continue playing anywhere? Or
He won Super Bowl with the Giants.
he want to play with the Giants?
Won Super Bowl. No, not that year. Did 2011.
When did he play with the Giants?
Corner.
I
Okay, he played like 08, 09, 12, 13.
Okay. You were probably a better player than Bruce was. That's what they be. You're just a knucklehead.
It's another way. It's another way.
You need somebody to smack you upside your head.
Somebody just think that's
It happens, man. It happens. Who else? Who were you tight with?
I used to hang with Brandon Miranda a lot,
Okay.
Willie Cooper, Ryan Moore,
Those were all your closest friends? Okay, anybody else?
Darnell,
I don't know who that is.
Jenkins.
Oh, yes, okay. All right, well, that was your group of friends. And were they beefing with Brian's side at all? All right, so, do you, in your opinion, I don't want to put words in your mouth, would it be accurate to say that all of this beef between you and Brian was all made up by people?
Made up, yeah, they took it and ran with it from the little stuff that was stirred up between me, him and the girl, and the little altercation we got into it in the dorm. They took that as in, I wanted to hurt Brian. I don't know for what. He ain't saying nothing to me directly for me to hurt him.
Right. Right, and if you stand here now, you tell him you never threatened him.
I never did nothing to him, hurt him, but nothing to Brian.
I never made threats to him, nothing like that. Okay. Now let's move forward now, to a little closer now to the timeline of when Brian was killed. Do you remember the night that he was killed?
I remember the day.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Start from the day.
Start from the morning.
From the morning?
Well, whatever. As far as you can remember that day.
Okay, so I come in, for me, I come in to practice that day, but I failed my second drug test.
Okay.
We do a weekly drug test, so I think it's, I don't know if it's a Wednesday probably.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember what day we got that, but anyway, I come on a Tuesday, maybe
It was a Tuesday.
it was a Tuesday. So I come in for meetings, name on the list, say second drug test. Coach Cole called me up to his office, Raushaun, what's going on,
Okay.
THC in the system.
So it was for marijuana.
It was for marijuana, so I don't go to practice that day.
Okay.
When I leave out of his office, I go home.
Okay, what were you looking back then?
In Bermuda Villas,
Where's that? I don't know.
right by South Dayland Mall.
Okay. So on the other side of US 1?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So I go home. So when I go home, I'm at home from practice to home. I mean, from practice I went home. So by the time they got out of practice, Bruce called me on the phone like, where you at? I said, I'm home. What's going on? He said, Brian dead. I said, what? He said, yeah, boy, somebody killed Brian. I said, man, shut the F up. He said, for real? I said, hold on, let me call you right back. I hung up with Bruce and called cousin Trisha on the phone. Cause I ain't
Bruce's cousin.
no, Brian's cousin.
Oh, Brian's cousin. Okay, now
Now, like this.
what's Trisha's last name?
Paris Duncan. What's Trisha's last name? Patricia Duncan.
Okay.
Duncan.
Okay, and she's cousin with Brian?
First cousin with Brian. Her mama, daddy, and Brian, mama and daddy is sisters. And me and her like this.
Okay.
So when I come back,
I know who she is now, okay. I mean, I know they're cousins, but I know I've seen the name in the reports.
first cousin.
Trisha's doing that, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you tell her?
So I tell her, Trish, your Brian did. She said, stop playing, Sean. I say, for real, Bruce just called me and said somebody killed him. She started crying on the phone. All thing I could do was just hold the phone and listen to her while she crying. I couldn't say nothing. I didn't know what to say. She just like, no, what's going on? I was like, I don't know, Trish. I wasn't even there. I'm at home. I get a phone call at home. Somebody telling me he died. So after that, after I hung with her, I think I might call Bruce back, and Bruce said it was a mandatory meeting at our facility. And I ain't go to the mandatory meeting. I talked to Sherry. And Sherry
So
told
who called you and said there was a meeting?
Bruce
Johnson. Okay. Did anybody call you about a meeting that night?
No.
Okay.
Bruce don't want to call me and let me try to tell me it was a team meeting.
A team meeting, okay.
And I'm the only one that didn't go to the team meeting.
Why is that?
Because I'm still distraught from my second marijuana, me selling that drug test.
I see. So
So I didn't want to be around the team or be
you're
involved
just in a bad mood.
in a bad mood because I know I'm going to be stay the game coming up, I'm going to be play the game Saturday, So I was just basically to myself until Sherry said, well, I think you need to come out here. Come to the beach house. That's when I left.
You're going fast. I'm old, so you got to slow down for me. So you got a call. You're home chilling. You're home all day.
I was home from the time I left the center, from the time I left the Hicks Center, we called the Hicks Center. From the time I left there till I went to my house, I was home.
And how did you get home from the next center? When you
I drove.
No, I understand, but which way did you take? You don't remember? Okay. But you lived east of US 1.
I stayed right behind the mall. So if this US, say this US one,
Right.
so if you turn right here, the mall sit right here.
So you're on the side of the mall?
I'm on the side of the mall.
Okay. I see what you're saying, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So if the mall sitting like this, you know, it's a back piece back there where you can go around the mall, back there.
Okay.
That's why I live, that's why I was saying.
Okay. So, you're home, what time do you get home about? Roughly, you don't have to be exact. After lunchtime?
After lunchtime. It was, I had to get up at 2 because we had meetings probably at 3.
And before that, you were on campus all day?
All day.
Did you have any confrontations with Bryan that day at school? None. Did you see him at home?
I don't remember seeing him.
All right. And who's the one that called you in for the field drug test?
Coach.
Oh, he called you himself?
Yeah.
So you went straight to the head coach?
Yes.
Well, he was mad?
Yes.
How did you feel at that moment?
Disbelief.
And that was the second time you feel,
Second time.
so you go straight home from there?
Go straight home from there.
What kind of car were you driving at the time?
A white Mercury, like 98 Ford.
What did it belong to?
It belonged to my grandmother, but I mean,
Oh, okay, that's the car you drove back and forth to campus.
Yeah.
At the time, you were also driving Sherry's car, is that right?
sometimes she live at home.
All right, so you go home, you spend the whole day at home,
Yeah,
until you get a notification from Bruce Johnson that tells you Bryan's been killed.
right.
Okay, what else?
Probably about a 3-4 hour window from the time I got home from him telling me that.
Okay, and what were you just doing at home?
Chilling.
All right. When Bruce tells you that, what exactly did he tell you, if you remember?
That Bryan did, somebody killed Bryan.
Did he tell you where?
Yeah, he said at his house.
Okay.
I said, where? He said everybody rushing to his apartment right now. He said like the whole team's going over to his apartment right now.
Okay. And then he told you to go to the next center.
Yeah, he called me after I hung up with him and called Chris. He called me back and said we got a meeting at the extra.
Okay, and you just decided, you said, you didn't feel like going.
Right.
All right, what happened next right after that?
I went to the beach house with Sherry.
Okay, so Sherry calls you.
Yes.
And tell me about the conversation with Sherry.
She's in disbelief too, asking me what's going on. I told her I didn't know if you where I've been. I said I've been home. She said, while you was home, and I tell her how I feel on second drug test. She said, well, I think you just need to come out here. That'd be best right now. So I left my house and I drove to her beach house.
Okay, and what time was that about?
I got around there by 8:39.
That was that early? Okay. All right, and then you got to the beach house, and what happened once you got there?
Nothing. For real, we just talked about, what did we just talk about? I guess what was going on, and there was a lot of stuff going on here.
Okay, like what?
I guess Bryan just died and we started the drug test.
Okay. What was Sherry's attitude about it?
What you mean when she had to?
What was she saying about the whole thing? Was she sad, scared, mad? Or how was she reacting to the news of Bryan being dead?
She was in disbelief of Bryan being dead too. She couldn't believe it.
Okay.
I was sad for her too.
Do you know that Sherry was calling several people looking for you before she got a hold of you? Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay, why is it that she wasn't getting a hold of you earlier?
Because my phone was off.
So you turned your phone on after you spoke to Bruce Johnson?
No, she was calling me. Sherry was calling me when I first got out of the Hexham.
Okay.
I didn't talk to Sherry until after I got off the phone with Bruce.
Okay, so when you got home, you turned off your phone?
Yeah.
What'd you do that?
I just didn't want to be from the outside world.
Okay.
I was frustrated with myself.
So then how did Bruce get a hold of you then?
I turned my phone.
Oh, so you turned it off for 2 hours and then it happens to be that when you turn it on is when the call
He
from
called
Bruce.
me and say what Bryan did. I said, no.
Okay, and that's about 8:30 you said? Around 8, yeah.
What time we got to practice? That's probably about 6:30.
Okay. That's what time Bruce called you, you think? Okay. Okay, what happened next? So you go to the beach, and then what happens from there?
Nothing. I just said me and Sherry talked out there at the beach. Ain't nothing really happened. We went to sleep. We just, and the next day, they brought us all in for questioning. Like the detective used to say retired. He came in.
Do you remember who spoke to you?
No, we were about two.
A bunch of them were retired since then, so I don't know who spoke to you.
Two guys that talked to me. Then we talked.
Where did they talk to you?
They talked to everybody. They said we had a team meeting too. Yeah, Coach Kogar came in and said, some detectives here, we're going to pull out a few guys for them to talk to. So I was one of the guys that they pulled out to talk to.
Okay.
So I talked to them at that desk, they took my statement, everything I said. Later on, they came back again and reviewed me and say, why didn't you tell me that you should mess with jail? I said, well, I didn't know that I was supposed to tell you I messed with jail.
So they spoke to you the first time and they tried to talk to you again after?
They tried to talk to me again, they did talk to me again.
How far after was that?
About a week or two after that.
Okay. And I was on campus too?
That was on campus too.
Okay.
Then they came back again and wanted to talk to Sherry. They actually called Sherry and asked her, can the interviewer, she said, yeah, meet them at the beach house. They pulled up out there.
Okay.
They met her, they went downstairs and they talked again to Sherry.
Do you remember what the technicals were? Can you describe it to me? Okay.
One was tall, I know that. I've seen a couple of them on First 48 though.
Okay. All right. The older guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen them on First 48. After they interviewed Sherry for about an hour or so downstairs. After they interviewed Sherry, I ain't hear from them more till.
That was it. You ever had contact again after that but regarding this case? How much longer were you at the University of Miami after Bryan was killed? When did you become
Over 7. I had 3 drug tests. I was on the second drug test.
So you gave another one after that?
After that, no.
So when was that? Okay. So did you go couple out? You finished the season out?
Yeah, I finished that season.
Who took over after October?
Randy Shannon.
And that's you were there in Shannon 1 year?
No, I was there from half a year. I filled my third one with Randy Shannon.
Okay. And then you said that's it?
Yeah.
So then you went from where to where from there?
From there to Shaw University.
What's that?
Raleigh.
North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you went where?
To Winston, in Winston State.
And then where?
To Texas.
University of Texas?
No, I played arena ball.
Oh, arena, but for what team?
Amarillo Bill.
Okay, what position? In the back? DB? Or, okay. Now, let's go back to the incident with Bryan. The night that you got called by Bruce Johnson, so that night you only speak to Bruce Johnson, and then you call Patricia Dunac, and then Sherry, and then you go to Sherry's house. Do you remember talking to anybody else that night? No, you don't remember, or you did not?
I did not.
You did not, okay. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. In the following days, how good is your memory from that time period? Do you still remember very well?
It's pretty strong.
It's pretty strong. Do you remember speaking to Pastor Caldwell about the incident? Do you remember speaking to the pastor? What's the other pastor's name? Steve. There's another one, right?
Yeah.
Well, they joked that it was Black Steve and White Steve, right? Do you remember speaking to the white pastor, Steve?
Not about the situation, no.
At all? Okay. So you talked about personal stuff that had nothing to do with this case.
Yeah.
Did you talk to any other pastors during that time?
The other one was 2012.
Okay. Do you remember talking to either of them about anything regarding the Bryan Pata case?
No, Pastor Steve, the black Pastor Steve, he was just wondering why I didn't come on to the team meeting.
Oh, he asked you?
No, I think he asked some other players.
And
He didn't ask me.
Okay, was that like an issue during that time? So people got a little ticked off, you think, that you didn't
Because I didn't show up to the team meeting. And I know how I had to look because of the situation. I'm the only one not there, man. But I was saying that me and him beefing and going through it. Okay, I can understand and see what y'all talking about, but I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with him dying.
Okay, all right. So, but you understand how it looked?
Yeah,
So people were upset. Did anybody ever confront you about it?
The only thing I'm telling you is about the girl on Facebook. She's the only one that was nagging me.
I don't know who she is.
I don't know who she is.
All right, so okay. What's she posting on? Just crap?
Crap.
Okay. Anybody else in the Pata family reach out to you at all?
No. Like I said, me and Patricia is his first cousin.
Right. So you have to, as long as you know that you get along fine with the Pata family.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Just want to make sure. Okay. Now, I want to go, anything else you want to add about that time period? So nothing happens until what? You get contacted by ESPN 15 years later.
Nothing happened to get contacted by ESPN.
And what was your rate? Tell me what they told you.
Yeah, we're doing a case on the Bryan Pata murder. The family his mother won't closure. My name was mentioned, brought up, when I like to tell my side of the story, to clear my name. I'm like, no.
You never gave him an interview?
I never gave him an interview, but they took from what I said on the phone and wrote it down. The dude on the phone, I'm like, no, why would I give y'all an interview? I ain't got nothing to do with his death, so no, I don't care, I don't feel no type of way, no, that's 15 years ago, y'all let them rest in peace. Like, I don't understand why y'all still digging up something. Well, I understand why, but I don't know why y'all still jerking at me about it.
Right.
I understand what y'all doing, but I don't understand why y'all still nagging me about it. I don't got nothing to say about it. I didn't have nothing to do with it, so I don't know what y'all want to do with your story. Write what you want to write, but it ain't coming from me.
Okay. Now, we know we pull phone records. I told you that, okay? I'll mention that to you now. When we pull phone records, we noticed that you changed your phone number basically the same day. Do you remember that?
That's because of the weed that I felt guilty.
So, okay, but you never told me that. So how did you change your phone number?
I called Verizon.
See, it was it T-Mobile or Verizon?
I think it was Verizon. Verizon.
Whatever it was.
Sherry, I think I was going for the Sherry plan. If I'm not mistaken, Sherry got me phone.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember. I thought, well, maybe T-Mobile was a little bit bottom of Verizon, whatever it is. Okay, maybe, I don't know, whatever. I just thought my head was T-Mobile. So you left practice and you changed your phone number.
Yeah.
Okay, and you did it just by making a phone call?
Yeah.
You didn't have to go anywhere? And what was the reason for changing your number? Explain to me.
I don't know. At the time, I felt like I was going to get a lot of backlash for my second marijuana, from my drug test.
From whom?
From friends, family. I know I let my family down, mother them, grandmother them.
All right, so you just didn't want to hear from anybody? That's what you're saying? Okay, but you remember that? Okay, and you get another number. Do you remember what time you did that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I asked you a question a little while ago about, backtrack a little bit. The day that the detectives interviewed Sherry, okay, were you there for that interview?
I was there, but they wouldn't let me be in there. When I drove up, they was already standing out there. And I was with Sherry. Okay, me and Sherry drove up to the two detectives standing out there. So when we got out, she said, hi, how y'all doing? He said, what can we talk it? He asked Sherry, what can we talk it? Is all right? I was like, no, what's going on? I was like, if y'all don't speak to her, y'all don't speak to her in front of me because I want to hear what y'all asking or what y'all saying. He said, that's against procedures. We can't have you there and interviewing her. So she said, calm down, son. I'll just go. It was a coffee shop. Thanks connected to the thing. So they just went down there and I guess he interviewed her. They had whatever.
You still have contact with Sherry?
My sister does.
Your sister does. What's your sister's name?
Kiara.
Kiara Jones?
Yeah.
Kiara, where she live in?
Lake City.
All right. But you told me, and I'm not gossiping right now, it was curiosity. So Sherry's baby's not your baby?
No.
You sure? Okay. No, I was wondering. But you were tight with her for a while. How long did it take?
I was in Miami for 3 years, probably a year and a half.
Would you consider her loyal to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think she spoke to ESPN. She
did, but
I'm surprised she even spoke to him.
Yeah.
Okay, and she spoke on your behalf. Okay. How about Bruce Johnson? Did ESPN speak to Bruce?
I mean, they tried to, but he didn't want to do the interview.
Oh.
I ain't blaming though, but what do you?
I probably wouldn't give an interview to Raushaun, I'll be honest with you. Have you had any contact with the Pata family ever since then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I just want to check something in my notes real quick. About my time there, and I'll come back. You need anything? You good? Okay. Give me 1 second, okay? If you need anything, you just knock on here. All right?
Can you step out of the room for a moment here?
Yes.
I want to go over a couple things with you. If you need anything else, remember, let me know, please. I have to go water myself.
Yeah.
You said you're still in contact with Jada, right? You reached out to her recently?
I reached out, she didn't say that
She never called you back? And before that, when was the last time you had spoken to her?
She transferred to Clemson.
Okay. Do you remember Jessica Flowers?
Yeah.
Tell me about her.
With William's girlfriend.
Okay. Tell me what kind of relationship you had with her.
You know, one of the homegirls.
Okay, so you were tight with her back then?
Yeah.
Did you have any conversations with her at all about the Bryan Pata case? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of all the people that you remember back then, because you had to have discussed it. You got a bunch of knucklehead kids. You know,
What do you mean you discussed it?
the case, whatever the topic was, that was big news. That was big news not only in Miami, it was big news nationally, because, you know, that's not only a young college person or a young person, it's somebody that goes to college, or somebody that was going to the University of Miami, somebody that played football for UM, and someone that was supposed to be getting drafted in the upcoming draft. So it was big news, you know. So if there's big news nationally, it's even more big news locally in Miami, and it's got to be huge news at the University of Miami. You guys are teammates. So there has to be conversations. I mean, I talk to my coworkers about the silliest things around the coffee, you know, in the coffee room, around the water cooler. So tell me what was going on, what was the conversation during that time that you remember?
The only conversation I can remember was, the chatter was, they really didn't know who done it because he was always into stuff.
Okay, like what kind of stuff was he into?
I can't say specifically because I never saw him do nothing, but the cars he drove was expensive, the rims he put on was expensive.
Okay.
His life outside of football was, I guess, expensive.
Okay. So you think he had like an expensive lifestyle, maybe that was, are you trying to tell me like director that maybe he was involved in something?
I can't say because I don't know that he was involved in it, so I can't say that, oh, I'm involved in something.
Right.
But that's not normal for what he was doing, the stuff that he obtained. And
Okay.
he might sell a car one day and come back with another one, a new one the next day.
Yeah, he was into cars apparently, like he liked fixing it and selling and stuff like that. Okay. Do you remember an individual named Mike Sanders? No? Mike Sanders was a baseball player. Do you remember Mike Sanders at all? Mike Sanders.
I do, I think. Yeah, I think I remember him a little bit.
Yes. Do you remember calling Mike Sanders and asking him for money that night? No? So Mike Sanders would say, or tell us that you called him the night that Bryan was killed asking him for money. That would be a lie.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a lie. Why would Mike Sanders say that?
I don't know why he would say that. Somebody asking for some money.
Yes.
So I went to share them, so what would I need? Bryan,
I'm looking over that. I want to ask you directly to give you a chance to respond, give you a chance to give your side of the story. That's all it is. Some things may be silly, some things, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my due diligence. Right, you remember that your dealing lawyer didn't show up for to the Heck Center.
Right.
That's not an issue. Did you speak to any of the coaches at UM at the time about Bryan's murder? After Bryan was murdered, did you ever speak to any of the coaches about it?
Coach, I think Coach Baldwin, my position coach.
That's the only. Okay, do you remember the conversation you had with him?
No, I think he just asked me what I was. I think Coach Baldwin asked me where I was, and I told him the situation.
Okay. Oh, he asked you where you were that night?
Yeah, same thing I was telling you now.
Was he upset that you didn't show up for the meeting?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care?
I mean, he cared, but it wasn't like.
Well, let me ask you this: why would he ask you where you were that night? It's almost like he's trying to find out what you were doing that night.
Because I didn't come to practice.
Well, you were a practice first, and then you showed up for the meeting.
Correct.
Oh, but you're saying he didn't care that you didn't show up for the meeting.
I'm saying, yeah, he cared that I did show up for the meeting, but like I wasn't getting punished for not showing up to the meeting. I didn't want to know why I wasn't in attendance.
Because the rules were that even though you're suspended, you're still responsible to attend all team functions.
Yeah, but the coach ain't called to tell me it wasn't team. It was a player call. So I don't know if they related the message to the player to tell me, so it wasn't like a direct contact with Sean. Come to the.
I see. But you knew you had to be. You knew you had to be.
Right.
Okay. surprise you, and I think I mentioned this to you, that we spoke to Sherry Harrington a couple times, and she told us that the night that Bryan was killed, after he was killed, Sherry tried calling you several times and she couldn't get through to you. Is that when you said you turned your phone off?
Mm-hmm.
But you turned your phone off after Bryan was killed?
No, I was talking to Bruce.
Okay.
I was talking to Trish, and I talked to Sherry. That's Bryan got killed.
Okay, so why would you say that she tried to get a hold of you several times but she couldn't get a hold of you?
I don't know. I guess that's to try to tell me to come to beach house.
Okay. So you don't know why she would say that?
No.
Okay.
Unless I was on the phone when she was trying to call and the call didn't come through.
Okay, well, it was so bad that she actually got a hold of Pastor Steve, and trying to get him to get a hold of you, because she had learned already from other players that you were the only person that hadn't responded to the hex center, and she was worried that that would look bad on you. She didn't want you getting blamed for anything. Do you remember having a conversation with her about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all true. And then you came over to her apartment on the beach, and you stayed in the second apartment, second room at her mom's condo. Is that where you went? Was her mom there? No. How was her mom? Was it the nice people?
Yeah, actually, the detective actually flew to New Jersey to interview her mom.
ESPN?
No.
Oh, the detectives. I'm trying to hear the first part. Okay.
Just find out my character background, what kind of person I was.
And then would she speak highly of you? Okay.
The female I was messing with, they running down on them.
Were you busy with a lot of people back
There's
then?
a lot of females in there. So they'll come and tell me, oh, the detective showed me a picture. They got pictures of you. I said, what? Oh, yeah, they got pictures of you. They try to tell me that, they try to get them to say something that, I don't know, that they want to hear, that wasn't true. I don't know what it was actually.
Do you remember some of these females that matched my name? Anybody they spoke to back then?
Regina. Forgot Regina last night. Her and Jada friends. Regina. Tiffany. Like the girl named Tiffany.
Were they athletes there, or?
No, it was just stupid.
Just stranger? Okay. Okay. Did you mess around with any other player girlfriends back then? Because you have a reputation for being a player. I heard from several people that you used to like messing around with girls, players, girlfriends and stuff. Is that true? So they made that up. Are you aware that Sherry told Coach Swayze that she believed that you were in trouble? Sherry called Coach Swayze the night that she couldn't get a hold of you, that Bryan Pata was murdered, and she told Coach Swayze that we verified this, that she was looking for you, and she believed that you were in trouble. Did she ever tell you that? Okay.
That's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to read notes here, and sometimes it makes sense, and that doesn't make sense. Do you remember a player by the name of Kareem Brown?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell Kareem Brown anything about firearms or anything like that?
No. I got running one that close to me talking about firearms.
Okay. So if he said that, you'd be lying?
Yes.
Okay. Willie Williams. He was there when you were Eric Moncourt?
What about, he wasn't
He and Eric Moncourt witnessed a fist fight between you and Bryan Pata. Is that accurate?
No, because I'm trying to tell you, the only time me and Bryan got into it, I had just got